pleased and humbled that you would join us on this journey. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. Exertus versus Justus Pro, our first CEVO-P match of the season, is going live. Armor, 3 kits, a nade, just a few extra peripherals like a decoy here and there. And for the T's, a lot of utility, not a whole lot of armor. Look for AGM and JMZ to make some sort of entry for their team. An aggressive peek on the first round, and Justus Pro knew it, so they called an anti-strat. They ran to lower B instead of moving out to mid. They're going to do significant damage. TM and Moses are so wounded because perhaps their tendencies are just a little bit too known. Oh god, XP3 hits planks on the jump up, then a long control attempt. Justus has maneuvered, they've moved back across the site, and they've tried to change the position on the map. Now they're trading back and forth, but they're trading and losing. They've lost a man, they're down a man, and Flowsick is down to 16 HP. There's the one-on-one, Warden to hit this headshot, maybe. 3 bullets left, and Shazam drops him. This is huge. No, look at how mobile Justus is. They're trying to get Exertus to move out of their spots and move into spaces that they're not comfortable with. The mobility for most teams that are not as veteran as Exertus would cause them to completely lose their discipline. But Exertus held pat, and they walk away with 3 alive.
Yeah, Justus was all over the map. I mean, they started out in mid, moved towards long, and then ended up on cat, all while picking up kills along the way. And, I mean, you said it. They did the anti-strat, knew that Exertus is probably going to go for the aggressive peak, so they went to lower B to start out with, and unfortunately they couldn't pick up any kills like they needed to. Had they gotten TM, I mean, that round could have been completely different. They would have been a man short, and I think that's all they would have needed to pick up that pistol round. Unfortunately, they don't, and now it's just, you know, the standard 3 saves that we're probably going to be seeing.
Look for the 55-second explode into bombsite B, or even sooner. They may just wait for the smoke to dissipate and go challenge Storm. Storm is going to be the linchpin of this match. We said this earlier. I said this earlier. I even put this in writing. Storm is the god of bombsite B in North America, and he is not to be trifled with. But if he doesn't play a good game, that's almost a certain loss for Exertus. It looks like he's playing a fine game, though. And XP3 will come in to clean up. 2 assists plus the 3 kills may as well have been an ace. And a little bit of a shaky start there. I would have liked to have seen Storm get his aim just a little bit locked down tighter, but who can complain with those results?
He did pretty well, and I was going to say the only thing about Storm and B is he pretty much plays that one spot in the whole site. He likes playing on the back of that platform over there, and he rarely moves from it. So, I mean, if Shazam can trade out with him with a good op pick, I mean, that could open up B for them. So,
I find Storm's B play hilarious. Like, I'm not going to move. Deal with it.
Exactly. It works, though. You know, he gets the kills, he shuts them down. So, I mean, what can you say? I mean, your teammate can't complain about it. So.
It's not like Sourcebeak can throw a nade over the top of the Dust 2 B tunnels anymore. You have to run at him. XP3 with a triple and a quad. Can we get an ace? No, we can't. Flow 6 drops him, but then is traded promptly after, and Warden probably just makes on his teammate for not cleaning up, even though he had the chance. Exertus is done with their anti-ecos. Justus Pro now gets a chance to reply.
And Shazam does get that op. So like I said, you know, Storm plays in the same spot. That's a weakness that Shazam could probably take advantage of if he's feeling good with his op. I mean, they could take advantage of the aggressive pushes on Cat if they do keep doing that. And then also, you know, Shazam with his op. Oh
my god. So if anybody was still curious as to whether that's possible or not still after the patch, it is. There's the push. Remember when we said Exertus is going to be aggro? They don't stop being aggro. They're just going to do it every round, and they don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, XP3 tried to get the counter pick there in mid, and Shazam was waiting for him. And counter picking at CT is just so hard. I feel like it's not even worth it anymore. Honestly.
Warden with the calculated risk. His teammate calls, I see at least 3 mid. You're going to go head-to-head, one-on-one at long, and if you win that battle, you'll have a full flank. AGM actually wins that battle. Then the response, James E tries to look for the spammer he thinks maybe on top of the quad, in front of the quad to the left, and he hits nothing. 3 versus 3. It's a wrap to A. And up long, Moses has given up the site. He's calling for his teammates. He's saying, guys, I need some help right now. Like, right now. Incendiary thrown. AGM needs to get out of the way, and Moses is going to get gunned down if he doesn't move. 1 versus 2. Moses versus. He throws a flashbang to blind the CT player. Is he going to dive him? Please dive him. He's going to get him. He's so weak, though. Shazam versus Moses, and Shazam's weapon makes it a non-factor as to how much HP Moses has. It's time to make a big play. Shazam with an uncharacteristic miss, then another flick and a miss. Moses makes it to the platform and another miss. Can even stick to defuse. Now you just got to save at this point.
Yeah, it was planned for long, so I mean, Shazam was just in a great spot in general, and he loses the AK because he was just so low. Oh, unfortunately, Moses couldn't hold on to that, and I mean, Justus Pro picks up their first round, and now we might... No, never mind. I was gonna say might be seeing a save, but no, they had their economy is good enough that they can force up if they need to.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Was it wrong to let the plant happen for Moses? He could have walked up on the planter. He might have even been able to catch the opera as he ran down to the pit.
I think honestly, because I think Shazam was watching mid, so I think yeah, he could have probably snuck up on him. Unfortunately, just one of those things where he thought it was too risky, and I think it did kind of bite him in the butt right there.
Justus Pro is so concerned with controlling this catwalk. Early pop flashes in to probably push back the pushers, and then 2 frag nades. That's a lot of money. Do the math. 400, another 600. You're talking about $1,000 just at the beginning of the round. Not 15 seconds in.
Yeah, they're burning through it, but I mean, yeah, I think off that win, they're feeling good, so.
Mid control. Justus Pro has complete faith that nobody's going to push through B tunnels. No one's going to push out along. Let's just control and make sure that we hold our angles. They'll look for the kill, and maybe if we take a look at Shazam right now, he's going to be holding this, waiting for a mid picker to come back across. If they get that, maybe they switch to a wrap B. As it stands, it looks like Shazam becomes the new entry to hit a platform shot. And if Warden's peeking, it's going to hurt a lot. Flashes in. He's all right, though. The positioning allows him to run through. They smoke themselves. Now run in on Warden. One at the car and one at the platform. Planks tries to hit the shot. Then Warden holds and transfers to Shazam. AGM's 1 versus 4. He's the rat man really far away. He gets a kill and then is dropped. Exertus has 4.
And really, that round right there ended up coming down to Justus Pro not being able to hit their shots. You saw multiple misses coming out from Shazam. The other 2 support players with the AKs just couldn't hit anything. But Exertus did, and they came out with the round. And now look at Justus Pro's money. They are really weak. Potential double save coming? No, I think they'll be okay.
It's just so hard to predict because the bomb plan can throw everything off, and the T economy is a little cheaper. We just don't know.
Yeah.
We do have 4 to long, and a single player here, unsupported. The closest player is at catwalk. Warden has to hit these shots or die, and he's going to elect to die. He's made a huge error, even switched his weapon in midair. He had to come up with a sort of an ultimatum there, and he chose wrong. Flow6 in, trying to charge, misses practically all of his shots. So all that effort from his teammates over at long is a little bit wasted because now there is no wrap. Everybody else is at long.
Unfortunately, he had the Glock going up against 2 rifles, so yeah, it didn't work out for Flowsick, but I mean, they did get that pickup at long. They do have a gun. They could still make something out of this.
They'll cross. The suicide cross, move up to the platform and even try to force a plant. Moses won't let it happen, picks up a double with a single burst. 5-1.
So, I mean, Exertus looking good across the board. I mean, Storm and Warden, I think they just haven't seen much action, honestly, to warrant them being low on the totem pole in terms of kills.
Warden did just trip over himself at long. A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he got freaked out by everyone charging him, I think. But yeah, I mean, looking at the kills for Justus Pro, they're obviously lacking in terms of what we're seeing for a 5-1. And it is a double save, like I called out. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to go this one another round for Exertus, making it 6-1, but we'll see as they charge out mid.
This is a 5-man pain train through smoke. There's no way XP3 can hold this off. They picked up the op, and they'll try to storm through. Storm, actually, appropriately, comes up out of his domain. He surveys B and says, "This is my land." 6-1.
This is my land. Do not enter. I'm going to kill 4 of you and just end this round. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, they did a good job, you know, rushing down XP3 right there and got that kill in mid, so they could have, you know, gotten into the site. Unfortunately, they just couldn't pick up Storm, who was just looking too good right there, hitting every shot he went for. And now we're seeing a buy. Shazam does get his op, but economy is going to be problematic once again for Justus Pro if they lose this.
Justus Pro is sticking with the basics, right, Dust 2? You don't have to get too cute with. You just control mid, look at the stack. Flow6's going to see it, they'll discover it, and he'll drop Moses, who was flashed. A teammate flashed him in. The support player blinds Moses. Shazam. What? Excuse me. We apparently don't need smokes in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you know the typical spots where people play. You memorize the angles, and you
Oh,
just take the death
nonsense. He
shot.
was so much lower than the normal angle. Oh!
Shazam is on fire right now, and
Point proven.
that's potentially terrible news for Exertus.
So you were right. The man of the match to watch is Shazam in this case. Storm's the last one alive, and as he comes back across, JMZ knows the personnel. He knows he knows Storm's the B player, so I should probably lurk mid, and it works.
It started out with a great entry, honestly. I mean, the pop flash coming in from Justus Pro onto Cat. They knew the aggressive Cat push was potentially there, which it was, and they got the quick kill. And then the ridiculous offshot from Shazam onto mid just made taking A that much easier. But I mean, good identification of what Exertus is doing and taking advantage of it.
That was brutal. I began that round saying that the meta is what it is, right? There's nothing to be discerned. You just control Cat, you discern whether you need to move to B, or sometimes you just take over and just make the HLTV highlight kills, because that's not a strat. You don't draw that up.
You don't, and honestly, I feel like Exertus isn't playing as aggressive as they normally do. I think maybe they might feel like, okay, people are catching on to us. Maybe we need to adjust and maybe only go aggressive on Cat every so often, because I feel like before they were doing it almost every round. But now it's an adjustment.
XP3's thinking about it, and he really, really should not get overly curious, because he's going to walk into the stack.
Yeah. So,
mid-control again. They're waiting to see if they can walk in, and right now, since the ubiquitous CT smoke is just so obvious, they're going to use a single player to walk in and be exposed. No reason to throw that smoke and give away the plan. Now the wrap happens. Now the smoke is down. Shazam will begin the strat for the team, and Warden may even push through with these flashes. He's through, and the strat is moving toward Cat. They showed the commit toward B, and the entire Justus Pro team moved it all the way back toward A. They've moved Exertus off their spot, and with no map control now, Exertus has to try to retake after the bomb plant. That was genius.
It was great. I mean, you saw they were watching mid, waiting for XP3 to peek. They didn't see him, so they had to assume that he went towards B. Sent Shazam out as the solo man to get that kill, which he did, and then threw the smoke at CT, which forced Warden to rotate from A down to CT, and by then they were already up Cat taking the site, and they just couldn't stop it. So I mean, that was a great strat by Justus Pro.
AGM locks on, drops Storm, and the round score 6-3. Really impressed. Really impressed by understanding the meta, not having to throw that smoke initially, and just letting Shazam naked peek. Naked peek, solo pick, no support. That's a big play. And then, after you see all those smokes and flashes start being thrown in through the CT smoke, you realize that the CTs have begun over-rotating. I'm really impressed. I love that.
It was great all around, and I mean, interesting buy here. 3-man buy, 2 people saving on Exertus pistol armor buy.
TM saw the elbow of Planks out in mid. He wanted a full body shot. He couldn't get it, so he'll settle for just doing about half of his health in damage. All 5 out at mid as fight through smoke is what we got going on right now. And Warden's starting to think twice. You got an opposing enemy opera who's just that on fire. You gotta be really on your P's and Q's about not walking into the lanes, those pre-fire spots.
Yeah, those angles that he's just watching, waiting for you to walk into. Very, very dangerous.
First kill. TM is rewarded. Though he didn't kill Planks, he does get flow sick on this one, and we're going to send a solo pick back out. The solo pick is very effective on Dusty.
Also very risky, though.
Also very risky. Yeah, Shazam's barely supported by this Xbox player who has a narrow angle, and in that particular case, Planks saves his teammate. That's a very, very good way to play support. One more through the door. Moses does not have a gun. He's trying to go for 1 digs, which is possible on the Xbox kill, but more and more it looks like he's about to get killed. We'll turn this into a 3-1 wrap. JMZ is here, and Warden sees it. He calls no one back out at mid, so the strats change. They think it's a wrap B. Look at the positioning. They're out of position, and now that Justus Pro is here, they're fighting from the catwalk. Shazam's up and up the ramp. Double kill, 9 seconds. You must plant the bomb right now. Right now. There you go.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Cutting it close, but for the pros, I guess that's an eon, a life age.
Yeah, 5 seconds on the clock when you get the bomb down. Plenty of time.
Moses makes the big kill, drops the op, and just Planks on the ramp with 56 HP. There's the kill. The 3rd bullet was a headshot, and that'll be a defuse. 7 rounds for Exertus coming. Let me tell you, I saw the rotate toward the B when they cleared mid. Warden made the call, no one's out at mid. For a second, everyone flowed toward B, and then a moment later, there was a thought. Oh wait, and then they came back toward long. I thought Exertus had lost that round.
I thought they did too. I mean, I liked what Justus Pro did. I mean, it was essentially what we saw last round, except this time they took it to long A, which nobody was there. And you saw Shazam, he picked up those 2 great kills, and I thought they would be able to get a plant and, you know, have Shazam in the pit at long just waiting for it. Unfortunately, Exertus acted too fast, got to the bomb site too quickly, and they were able to pick up those kills. But I mean, yeah, it was another good heads-up play by Justus Pro, and, you know, good job reading what's going on, what the CTs are doing after you get a couple kills.
An ugly hot foot for Warden. He doesn't care. Comes out and lays down the gauntlet. Flow 6 dead. Odd, you threw the fire. You knew he was going to come out and spray you, and you didn't pre-fire him. AGM sees the body and is dropped by Moses, who double peeks with the M4A4. 2 alive for Justus Pro, and the veteran chemistry of Exertus overcoming the all-star caliber roster that Justus is bringing to the table. It's tough treading, right? You know Exertus is good at this map. Here's the double-edged sword nature of this. Exertus has tons of tape on this map, so you think you can exploit them, but they're also really good at this map. They're just flat out really good at this map.
Their aim is just good too. I think that's another factor that is outclassing Justus Pro right now. I mean, the amount of, you know, bursts and kills that Exertus is getting compared to Justus Pro, it's too much, and I think Justus Pro is struggling in those aim wars that they're getting, those aim map scenarios. They're just not hitting as many shots as Exertus is.
Is this form that Exertus is showing something that we didn't see last season? Is this Exertus hitting another gear?
Exertus is looking really good right now, I think. I mean, last season they started out, you know, kind of. I mean, they're one of those teams that's always good, but they also, I feel like they struggle with consistency. But I mean, right now, the way they're looking, I honestly thought they were going to start out slow like they did last season, but they're looking pretty good right now.
They don't look like the same team. XP3's in the site. They've swapped personnel. XP3's at the back of the platform, hitting out shots. Oh, a double! And there's just one more kill to pick up. Moses has that last one. There's no ace for XP3. That was disgusting.
It really, it really was unfortunate that they decided to go through to be, and it ended up being 2 defending there. And yeah, amazing, nice opping by XP3 right there. And it's 9-3 now. Justus Pro, they obviously have to win out, and you know we might be seeing another situation like we saw last game where it's 9-6, but in favor of the CTs when it should be in favor of the terrorists.
I just showed the graph to the stream of the damage dealt by XP3 in that particular round. Utterly absurd. Utterly absurd. 3 stacked toward long with the CTs. They're a little bit out of position to control cap, but they'll come back toward it, and XP3 won't even let it matter because Planks tried to jump up, and he came up with the top of the Wisp. It's so important to know the smoke for the top of the Xbox. If you throw a lazy smoke that just blocks the double doors, you're gonna get opped. 4 to control mid. Let me ask you this. Let me pose this question here. Justus Pro is going with the entire vanilla playbook. We've yet to see the things that make a lot of surprise play works, like the CT jump, the full speed play to either site. Do they have to pull out the exotic plays or the sort of, you know, the rabbit punch plays, or do they stick with the game plan?
I think what they're doing is working. I mean, like I said, I feel like essentially when they execute certain times, they're just missing the shots. So I mean, if their initial strategies are working very well, and it is catching Exertus off guard. They just need to start tightening up the shots.
Storm doesn't give up bombsite B, like ever.
Like ever.
Ever. If he dies, he's going to make it look so painful for you to take over the site. So it's Shazam versus Moses and Warden. Warden does not even let the bomb plant come into question. With 20 seconds left on the clock, that's another round win for Exertus, who sits at 10-3.
This half does look like it's shaping up to be Exertus's, clearly, as we're going to see Justus Pro on another save. Actually, they're forcing this one, so this is going to be interesting. I'm wondering what they're going to do here since they do only have Galils. Maybe they're going to try to force a rush at long A, try to establish control there. But either way, I mean, you know, like I said, Exertus looks like they're probably going to take this half with probably a couple more rounds.
Triple stack toward long, running out like this, trying to trade is not really good for your health, AGM. 6 HP left, and the T's have not started this one off well. 2 alive at full HP, that's Planks and Flowsick, and not really much else at all.
And I was gonna say I feel like Exertus is a stronger.
What?
They won't let me finish my thought.
Keep going. Just keep going.
I wanted to say I feel like Exertus is probably stronger on the CT side of this map, honestly, compared to their T side. So if Justus Pro could pick up these last few rounds, then I think they're still in it.
I also subscribe to the idea that Dust 2's steadily becoming a little bit more CT sided. Just from the understanding of the CSGO meta, the way that people understand how to play mid now that it's had a few years to breathe. Planks hits a good-looking shot on TM. That's him leaving Moses versus 3, and I don't think he's got too much of a chance now if he's getting spammed. 51 HP versus some low Ts, but just so many angles to check. Oh my god, he gets that one. There's one in the... Oh, not in the tunnels. Up at the boost box, Flowsick and AGM will attempt to crossfire. He's got both of them so weak. He can totally do this. Moses is our last one alive into the site, and he's not going to try. Check underneath you, Moses. One, and then nothing. He's got to stick this one, and Flowsick may make a huge error. He made a footstep, and that will be enough to make this defuse not possible. Here's the end of the round. Ooh, had me scared. Justus Pro gets one. It's 10-4. I am thinking... idly thinking that on most maps, because Dust 2B is just so easy to get done, you go with it. You go with the Rat B because Dust 2 meta says go with Rat B. But the personnel matchups inside of B are just so brutal. Every time you exchange, you're losing 4-2. You're losing 3-2. It's time to reconsider and maybe change the game plan to be a little bit more A-heavy.
Yeah, and with the way Warden is playing, I mean, he honestly has not been on his game right now. So if you exploit Warden and take advantage of that pushed up cat line, you should be able to get in B a lot easier than get in A a lot easier than getting in B.
Moses is making an extremely aggressive spray through. He knows players are nearby. He can hear and see the tracers, and he'll drop back. Warden's there to support, but of course the presence on catwalk is a little bit weaker now that he is so wounded. 4 versus 4. And the T's control mid again. It will be an A split. Looks like they heard our game plan. Look at this pit player. Moses, the weak player, has taken up over the... This is a great personnel swap, by the way. Knowing that your player is hurt, putting out a headshot angle so he doesn't have to fight a hard battle. XP3 with 2 clean headshots and maybe a third one. No trade for him as he drops back to the elevator. Then another, spammed up on top of Goose. That's Warden. And a peek. Bomb gets dropped. AJM's the last. He is also dead. 11-4 is your halftime score. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. The exact way we had imagined Exertus would play panned out. Staunch B holds, aggressive cat pushes, pretty disciplined long holds, and Justus Pro, they knew it. They ran into it thinking that they'd probably climb the hurdle, and they never did. So they'll have to have a fantastic CT side.
They really do. It's going to all start off with the pistol round. I mean, Justus Pro really needs to get this to get back into it. And if they do, honestly, I think they'll still be able to get a comeback on. Because, like I said, I feel like Exertus is stronger on CT side at Dust 2 than they are on T side. That being said, though, I mean, they did play a phenomenal CT side. And Justus Pro, I mean, I still think they played pretty well on the T side. They had some really creative heads-up plays that worked out for them. Unfortunately, like I said, I think it was just the difference in aim between the two teams. It seemed like Exertus was just more on point.
Let it not be said that this half was played poorly. You could see that both the wheels and the gears in both teams' heads were spinning. There was a lot of deep thought in that, but Exertus, their veteran presence, just overcame so many of the obstacles they were faced with.
Justus Pro doing a little bit of an aggressive cat on their own right there.
JMZ has identified at least 2 inside of bombsite B. He can hear the footsteps of 3. He'll call his teammates over. You can see on the minimap that the rotates are on. The flank by this guy, however, is just too threatening. He'll be flanking in just one quick moment. Don't shoot, XP3. No! The worst flank. And we're into the site. Shazam retakes with teammate. TM is about to be dropped to the back of the platform. TM is actually the one outside the door. Excuse me, that was Warden. 1 versus 2, and you're not going to get this one. XP3, why? Why?
I think... Oh, wow.
Oh my god, and the defuse. Justus Pro will save their game by that one defuse, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the chance to get back in this. Like I said, I mean, they get the bye now, and they could obviously. I think we'll be seeing Exertus bye on the third round. They usually bye on the third round, regardless of getting a bomb plan or not, because they like to play that aggressive style.
Bookmark this moment, right? 11-4. That was the score at the moment that Justus Pro, if they win today, can cite that was the turnaround point when XP3 missed all of his flank kills.
Got too greedy and went for the shots from too far away. Could have snuck up on him even more, and they just wreaked destruction on them.
Slow cat push. And if they can get, if that CZ hadn't been patched, that might have been a long range kill right there. But Shazam replies, drops XP3. Now everybody's flashing. TM picks up Shazam's death through the flashbang. Look at the flank. Storm, beautiful, beautiful. One taps and one more for extra security. Drops flow sick, picks up a gun maybe, but he was too far away, so he won't. So 2 versus 3. P90, FAMAS, and M4A1. They hear through the closet. They've been doing this all the way since 1.3. Oh. Drop. There's almost no chance that this bomb plant's going to happen. 45 seconds remaining. TM's going to just be very, very careful about how he plays this, even pre-firing. AGM won't let it happen. Justus Pro has 6, but they have had to rebuy a little bit, so their economy is on the border. They would like to have a great round right now.
I was gonna say pretty good eco round from Exertus, forcing those rebuys, and there we go. As soon as the round pops, instant AK buys. It's what Exertus does. They do that. Like I said, even if they don't get a bomb plant, they're gonna buy a third round pretty much every time. And you know, 2 FAMASes on the field still. So I mean, Justus Pro is gonna have to work a little bit harder to maintain these sites, since the gun advantage is going in favor of Exertus.
An off look for mid. It's a 3-2 siloed look. There's very little mid control. Now we're back to a 3-1-1. Flowsick is being very aggressive toward the door, and he's got a FAMAS. Fighting that Xbox fight, FAMAS to AK, is maybe one of the least fun things you can do on this map.
Definitely.
Smoke execute in. They'll try to drop into CT, and they try to do it too early. Shazam sees it. Warden is sprayed down by the FAMAS, and even through the smoke, they can still see a gap. And TM runs right into the burst of Shazam. So this round almost certainly is Justus Pro's, unless Storm and Moses do something phenomenal. Here's the beginning of it. Moses, 1, maybe 2. Planks is still out in open space. He needs to get to cover. It's 3 versus 2, and Flowsick has just given away his position. Moses knows. He absolutely knows where that is.
And doesn't make a difference.
Does not make a difference now. Storm had 1, then he gets flashed, and then is dropped. Exertus, their lead is being whittled down a little bit at a time. A little bit.
Yeah, expensive buy, third round buy to only force 3 kills right there. And I'm sure Justus Pro is happy to take it. Now Exertus is going to be obviously saving again. Justus Pro should be able to pick up this round. Flowsick, is he should have a gun. Yeah, he survived the last round. So yeah, I mean, Justus Pro is in the driver's seat right now, as they have control. They won that important buy round, and now they should be able to pick this one up and keep the momentum going.
Let me tell you that... Oh.
Dirty.
God. XP3 on the run. Hits Flowsick, and JMZ comes out of bomb side B. Combo wombos. 2 left coming from B tunnels. They're about to run into an AK shot. Doesn't matter. The CZ is still too strong. JMZ's down. Op shot. Could have been a double. Shazam sees it, throws a flash. That's probably not ever going to make it into bomb side B. And then a long range M4A1 shot. Very tidy work from Justus Pro as they begin to cut down the lead. Again, so... Again, I was going to say this mid-round. Exertus, for me, is always the team that starts and we say, have they hit a new level? Are they a new team? Are they about to make the jump into the upper echelon, the upper tier of teams? We always say yes, but then there's nice. There's always that one question mark, right? They always let a team come back on them. They don't finish the second round. Maybe they lose late in the game and something happens where we begin to question, oh, Shazam.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean. It happens all the time.
I do know what you mean, but I mean, I don't know if that actually plays into this match, just because, I mean, it is Dust 2, and even though they did have such a big lead, like I said, their T side just isn't quite as good as their CT side, and you know, like you said, I think as Dust 2 has been going on, I think it is becoming a little bit more CT side now that, like you said, everyone is used to playing mid, and the B wrap isn't as effective as it used to be. So yeah, I think it is getting harder to play T side on Dust 2.
Oh, Moses ducks the shot. Shazam is just shocked. He doesn't even know how he could have missed that, but at that level, you're just giving him a little bit of a haircut. You got to turn and look for this. AGM's there waiting. The metal door saved AGM's life. First time we've seen it in pro play. With a wooden door, those would have been dinks and headshots. With that, AGM takes very minimal damage, though he is traded 2 versus 2. JMZ and Flowsick both at the low angle. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
XP3 did not need to peek. His teammate almost had a free plant if they could have just tossed the bomb over. Now you need to do a one-on-one aim map. Moses wins it and saves his team from that horrible error, 12-8.
Almost, yeah. I mean, that could have been the round that completely turned it around for Justus-Pro, because they would have forced Exertus to another save. And I mean, look at Exertus' money right now. Still looking pretty low, despite getting that win. But on the other hand, Justus-Pro gonna have to completely save here. Even though they've been winning consistently, I think they've just
look at how many people are fast catting. Look at how many people are fast catting.
Wow.
Oh my God. And they're gonna push.
Push, yep.
The footsteps, I don't know if anyone's picked this up. Yeah, they're waiting. Warden's here. He gets traded 2 for 1. Is not a good way to go for the T's. Moses finally drops it, makes it 2 for 2. AGM, Shazam, and Flowsick are still up with, I think, Shazam's AK on the field, and he's out of play a little bit. He's out at the top of mid. All 3 T's from Exertus move back toward T-spawn, and this is going to be fighting in space that you're not used to practicing on. They're going to try to hold T-spawn and find a rotator, and this is a really, really veteran call from a veteran caller in Warden saying, forget about the bomb sites. Find this guy, deal with the flank before we ever execute.
Yeah, I mean, that Eco ended up pretty good for Justus-Pro. Had another person grab the gun, it obviously would have been better. And now Shazam is facing a 1 versus 3 fight here, where he's probably going to lose that. Yep, Storm picks him up.
While
and now they lose their
blind.
gun.
Gun is gone. 35 seconds remain. Flowsick is going to try to pick up that one in bomb site B, the lower tunnel. Picks up the AK, and AGM knows where to pick up the other one. They'll travel together to go pick up the AK. Smart move. But I think they may have taken Shazam's gun and thrown it over the fence. Let's go check. Nope, no presence of mind to do that, so we're going to have 2 guns for the CTs. They're right next to the border of the map, right? You would have thought that they would have thrown the gun over the fence.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't think about the CTs flanking him from long. It doesn't look like that Justus-Pro is going to actually attack this, though.
It will be tough, and they know they have an op. From long, 2 players. They need that long-distance headshot, and they are finding it very difficult to do it. Storm's going to throw a flashbang, and he decides to tuck it. Oh, God. Cleanup. Not happening. There it is. Exertus picks it up. It's going to be 13-8.
So Justus-Pro really needs to pick up this round. Shazam going to be low. They're going to buy him an op, I think, regardless. Yes, they do. So everybody does have what they want. The nades look fine. I mean, they have plenty of smokes and flashes to do what they need to. And everything looks good on Exertus' side as well. So, I mean, this is an even fight here. And it's going to come down to, I think, honestly, Shazam's opping on whether or not they pick up this round.
XP3 attempts to peer through smoke at mid. 2 players pushed up onto catwalk and stacking, spying lower B. No Exertus players over there, and it's a full long control, no mid presence whatsoever. This is a huge risk, not knowing the central area of the map, how much information the CTs have at all, and the 8 and 9 man, Shazam and Planks, are looking. They're like, nobody's out here. What? They thought somebody was behind the door, I think.
I think they want to think that they're in B tunnels, but they're looking there as well. So I mean, they gotta know that they're over at A.
With the information that they know, with the number 7 man, look, JMZ's pressed up against the wall. He hears nothing, and if he chooses to peek, Justus-Pro has 100% map knowledge. So Exertus makes a correction. They realize they had no map presence. They'll go back late in the round to establish map presence, and this is a huge move for them. Flash in. Everybody's blind on the plat. It's time to get inside of here. Planks is going to be trying to defend. He gets 1 on the trade. Then on top of the catwalk, 1 more to go. Everybody's here. This is how the round is decided. 1 versus 1, and AGM wins the battle versus 2. Absolutely critical that he did. Otherwise, he loses this round. His team loses this game. Very, very narrow. Well, I think very, very much narrowed their chances of victory.
XP3, it did, yeah. I mean, when you play down with so little time left, I mean, you got to execute quick, and if you give me any resistance, then you just get screwed like they just did. And I just want to point out that XP3 died after the timer ended, so he actually got no money, and he only had $400 left at the start of this round. So
Even with
Exertus economy.
even with that late execute, they could have had the round. AGM came up with a phenomenal play. Out in open space, AGM has to come up with another phenomenal play. The CZs gun him down. There's still one up on the top of the catwalk. It's Shazam. There's the flank. We're looking for it. JMZ knows Storm is coming. And the bomb is dropped. The oldest strat in the book.
The sneak it into B strat, yeah.
Everybody go this way. I'm going to go this way.
It's always fun to see that executed, though.
You haven't seen those. You know, you started playing Counter-Strike how many years ago? You just ignore those strats for all time, and then you're like, let's go back to that first strat that we ever came up with.
Yeah, you do. XP3 is still low on his economy, so he unfortunately had to go with the P250 in armor. So he's going to be behind the curve a little bit when it comes to this round. It looks like they're going for some forcible long control, and actually they passed. Why did they give the gun to XP3 when he got taken to 50 health? That seems odd to me.
He maybe has an idea. He says, I want to make a play. Let me try to hit this entry. Pick up the gun later if you need to. And still AKs being tossed around. I don't even...
AKs and pistols.
I like your stickers better. Give me your stickers. I like yours. Finally, mid-control barely reestablished. Shazam's being a bit of a nuisance there. He's the off player, the support player, and the true mid player has yet to show himself, as I think Planks is out in open space elsewhere. And Flowsick, excuse me. There's been a lot of personnel swaps at mid and B for both teams. They're in. This execute is mistimed. I think TM executed way before his teammates. They're going to get himself killed, but it's okay. They take over bombsite B. Exertus is in, 4 alive. They've got guns and armor. It's looking good for just a moment. Moses is going to lurk and be pre-fired. 3 versus 3. And the retake goes just a tad pear-shaped. Then it goes a little bit better. Warden versus 2 needs a headshot to preserve his chance. No good. Bomb plant is good, though, so it's going to be 13-11. And the economy for the T's just barely reestablished. Do they force? I think maybe not. I think you start looking for that op and try to go back to your op play.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to get an op in XP3's hands to force, I mean, not to force, to counterbalance Shazam's op, because he's been a real problem. When you saw him that last round, he was walling everybody through the double doors and getting them really low. I also do agree, I think TM kind of executed a little too early. His team wasn't coming out of the B tunnels until well after he died. So, I mean, that round probably could have been easier for Exertus there.
B tunnels. And controlled. They'll move into B tunnels, have one at the top of mid, the number 5 man, that's Warden, and the bomb dragging way behind. No vision for long, but it's a calculated risk, and you can kind of do silly things on eco rounds. Exertus, like we prescribed, is going to forego this round of purchases for perhaps an op look in the next round. I think there was a shot attempt on a smoke grenade just now. CZ's in and explode. You still got one alive at the back of the site. JMZ's holding on. He's going to try to spray everyone. He's seeing so much debris come up and kick up right around his face. Planks in, then sprays down, and somehow TM survives it. A single nade will do the trick for him, though. Somebody just drop, right-click a nade into that corner, and he'll be dead. Doesn't matter. That's even better. An op shot, a headshot. TM's down 3 versus 3. Moses can stand up and hit this shot. AGM needs to hit the shot of his life and pulls out a grenade instead. Probably the wrong call. Exertus has this round. If they can just let this bomb age a little further. 1 versus 2. Planks is dead. 14-11.
Huge eco. TM coming into that site with the CZ. I mean, CZ is still really powerful, guys, if you didn't know. After the supposed nerf, I'm doing bunny quotes. Still a very strong weapon. And, yeah, I mean, they got into that site and executed it very nicely. And I wonder, do you just freak out if you see that the terrorist took B and Storm is alive in there? Because then he's essentially
He becomes the new CT?
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't think about it, but I suppose at this level when the players do overthink things, I'd be like, oh, really? I'm sorry about that phone vibration. guys. I know you heard that one. You guys are always so on top of these things. Warden's about to see a one-on-one with Shazam, and he just backs off barely in time. If they lose their Opera early on, it may be a disaster. Or if you just blind him and he gets killed while being out overly aggressive. I can't help but feel that Shazam's putting this game on his back, telling his teammates, like, get on my back. Just let me carry you, but you have to have your teammates work with you. Flashes in and over the top of the ramp. Exertus cannot see a thing. They're all huddled, flashed. They can boost someone over right now. Flow 6 up. He hits one as traded. Moses hits the shot. Then Shazam over the top. Maybe another. No quick scope. It could have been. And that one is 2 versus 2. Shots everywhere. Shazam's winning the battles. XP3 is just barely alive. 3 HP. A strong gust will do the job. So tense. Just one shot to hit. No breaths to take. 20 seconds remain. Do you pick up the bomb? Do you go for an isolated pick?
Yeah, he's creeping around, and I like what Moses did. I mean, not Moses. Shazam did. He actually rotated around towards A. Long A, because he saw he got the bomb dropped on top of the platform and he wanted to get in a better position for this, and he should be feeling good about it.
There it is. JMZ will drop him. It's going to be 14-12.
Very, very, very close game. That bomb plant, though, going to give Exertus what they need to be able to do a full buy here. I think they would have been maybe a little short of getting an op going into this next round, but they should be able to pick it up now, and that's going to be good for... What? Okay, sorry. I thought something bugged out right there, but it didn't. So yeah, I mean, XP3 should be able to have another op going into this, and that's good to combat Shazam. But I mean, as you saw there, like you said, Shazam really is putting this game on his back. Look at him, 25 kills, and he really saved that round. I mean, you saw a good trade out from Flowsick, but it was really Shazam on Catwalk just getting those op shots.
It's really untenable. You cannot have this be a repeated game plan. Let your one-star player carry you each and every time. It's never going to work out like that, especially when Shazam's all over the place, doing his Roger Rabbit impression, spinning around, going to new spots, playing a different position every round. Right now, it's absolutely winning them rounds, but if you're gone like that, if you're being aggressive like that all the time, something is bound to go wrong. We're going to creep up long, and even though there's no sound cue yet, AGM knows. We've got a bit of a hiccup. And then we resume. Flashes in. They'll try to take over the site. The cascade of flashes allows for the CTs to back off and the Ts to breathe just a little bit. AGM turtles in. The fight is on, but nobody can see each other. This is purely off of game sense, hopes, and wishes, and prayers. We're going to try to go for jump, and Flowsick gets one! He can't go for it again. Surely he'll be decapitated, and he is traded by Warden. Exertus is about to be on the tie point. 15 rounds for them.
Huge round for Exertus. They get that tie point, and unfortunately, I feel like that was Shazam's misplay. You know, they left A completely open, and he decided to go with the op pick. He should have known that, you know, Exertus got that bomb plant. They're probably going to have an op. And if we leave A open, you know, they could just waltz right in. But he tried to be aggressive, get that pick, and XP3 was just waiting for him. And once he fell, I mean, the rest of the Justus Pro defense just couldn't hold on to A.
It could just end with a whimper here, as Justus Pro needs to play out the remainder of this round with only sidearms. If Exertus takes care of business and plays this orthodox, plays this with support, and plays this intelligently, this is going to be their game point. That's about it. What a way to start the season. What a test to start the season.
I'm just glad the game didn't end so quick. I mean, Justus Pro, even though they got, you know, kind of stomped on the first half, they really came back on the CT side.
We've got a battle out mid for control of these weapons. A single deagle shot will do the trick. AGM's going to pick up this gun, and in the smoke still behind him is going to be Moses. Perhaps silencing the dream of many Justus Pro fans out there. Shazam will push through the smoke, attempting to be Superman, and XP3 won't let it happen. 16-12 is your final score. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. Thank you for joining us. At the onset of Season 5,